Hi, and welcome to the second tutorial for APA style formatting in Word 2007-2010. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about several things, including how to make headers and include the page number in that, how to make a first line indent for the entire body of the paper, how to make page breaks so that you can have your title page and your references on separate papers but still within the same document. We'll talk about references and how to get the hanging indent and how to properly do a parenthetical citation. So let's get started. Once you have your document open, I have mine in print layout, which if you go down here to the bottom right hand corner, you'll see it's the first button for print layout, and it shows me what my document is going to look like when I actually print. The first thing that we are going to do is add a header. The easiest way to do this is to go somewhere in this white space, this inch of white space above the text, and just double click. And that opens up the header area as well as a header tool and footer tool, the design tool. Now it automatically defaults on the left here, and say I want to put my text on the left hand side and a page number on the right, I would just start typing here. And then to get to the right hand side, you just tab once, and that brings it to the middle. You can see the tab indicator there. And then one more time, we'll take it to the right, where you have the other little backwards L, which shows that there's a tab there. Then you would go up here to the left top, where it says page number, and click on that little arrow. And we want the page number in the current position and plain. Try to avoid the accent bars or the templates, and you don't want to make it look too fancy. APA style is very basic, so you want to avoid the templates altogether, and just do all of this manually. So plain number, current position, and you'll see that it's there. Now on the title page, you may want it to be different. So you may not want the number to show on the title page, which would be before this. And in order to change the title page only without actually changing the header itself, you would just go up here under the design menu in options and click on different first page, and you'll see that the header disappears. But if we had a second page, it would still be there. In fact, let me go ahead, and to get out of the header, you just double click somewhere in the body of the paper again, and that pulls you out of the header and back into normal edit mode. Let's go ahead and do a page break real quick so you can see how the header and the different first page works. Putting your cursor at the beginning of your paper, you can get to the page break in two different ways. You can go up here to the Insert tab, and it's the third one over. Just hit page break, and you'll see that you can scroll up and you have a shiny new page. And this is where your title is going to be. You want that centered. And it's going to be down a little bit. So your name, let's do title of the paper, then your name, school name, instructor, course. And there's your title page, and this is just a random order. I mean, your instructor will tell you what order to put and what information to put on your title page. If we want to adjust the header at this point, we just double click up here in the header again, and you can click different first page, and the header will disappear up here. But if you scroll down to the second page, you'll see that it is still here. Okay, and just double click out of that. Now, the next thing that we want to do is a first line indent. So the body of the paper right now just looks like a giant block of text. And that's not really the case, because there are separate paragraphs here. And One way that we can do that is to select all of the text, which is just a highlight and drag. Now to do a first line indent, what you're going to do is come up here to this little hourglass looking thing. You're going to click the top triangle. You click it, you see the little line show up, and then you're going to drag it to 0.5 mark. And you'll see that all of the first lines get pushed over, but the rest of the paragraphs do not. And I just realized that I'm not in double space, so we got to make sure to double space. Go up to paragraph, and then line spacing to 2. But since we've already set your defaults to double spacing, this should already be double spaced. Okay, so we have title page, body of the paper with header and page numbers, first line indent, double spaced. Now the other thing that you need to know is that in Word the text wraps, so you do not have to hit the enter key at the end of a line. The only time you want to hit enter is at the beginning of a new paragraph. So when I want to start a new paragraph, I would hit enter, and it already has the first line indent done for me. Okay, so we've covered headers, including inserting page numbers, page breaks, and first line indent. Now we're going to make a reference page. And to do that, you put the cursor at the last word or after the last word. And we're going to do another page break. Remember I said there are a couple different ways to do this. You could go to Insert, Page Break, or if you're in a hurry and you don't want to take the time, at the very end of the paper where you want to insert the page break, you can just hold the Control key and hit Enter. And that automatically gives you a page break. Now on the next page, where you want your references, you want it centered, which you can do up here in paragraph. Remember I said APA style is not fancy at all, it's very basic, so you don't want any bold or italics in the title references. You just want the word in the normal font. Now the references are going to be the author last name, comma, first initial, second initial if there is one, you do not write the first and middle names out, and then the year of publication, and publisher. The title of the book or journal, if you're doing a journal article, is going to be italicized. I'm going to make a couple of these. So we have our references. Now in order to make a hanging indent, you would highlight all of the references, and just the references, not the reference name here, just the references themselves, and go up to that hourglass thing again. This time click the other triangle. Do not click the rectangle that's directly below that though, because that moves the whole thing over, and that's going to mess with your indents. This one you want a hanging indent, so just the bottom triangle, and pull that over. Remember, click and drag. Pull it over to 0.5, and you'll see first line of the reference is sticking out a little bit. All the subsequent lines are going to be on one tab over. And that's how you do a hanging indent. The last thing I wanted to show you is how to do a citation. When you're doing a parenthetical citation, you are basically saying that this line did not come from me. So you need to have the reference. And for every citation in your paper, you should have a reference. So at the end of the information that you just typed, we're going to have a space, open parentheses, author last name, only the last name, and then the year of publication, end parentheses, and that's when you put your sentence punctuation down. So that's without any quoting, that is paraphrasing only. If you are quoting, then the quote would go around the words like that. But again, that's the only punctuation. The sentence punctuation is going to still come after the citation. Then you're going to have the author last name, the year of publication, and you're also going to add a page number. And that's how you do a parenthetical citation for a direct quote. This concludes the second tutorial of the APA style formatting for Word 2007-2010. Thank you for joining us, and happy writing!